That's a really, really professional intro. Hello, welcome to the second episode of Anime Amigos.
Hello.
We're all back again. It's me and myself. I'm Calvin Axel from Maxi Film Society. Again, my friend.
I'm Reece. I'm co-host of the Anime Amigo.
I'm Ren. I'm the assistant to the head of the Film Society at Alexia.
And I'm Elliot. I'm just a nerd.
That's an amazing intro. Now we know the rule. You know the rules, boys. First time you're on the vlog, you have to state your top 5 anime. So Ren, you'll go first.
Oh, okay. I didn't think this through very well. Let's see. Number 1, Fooly Cooley. Number 2, Kill la Kill. Number 3, Motorcycle 100. Number 4, Monster. And number 5, can I choose like an arc? Because if I'm gonna have to choose an arc, I'm gonna say like
Just
the
checking
Soul
the time
Society
was
arc in
running.
Bleach.
Yeah, go with a Bleach arc then.
Yeah, Soul Society arc in Bleach. Yeah, I'd say that's my favourite.
As for me, mine is number 1, Seraph at the End. And number 2, Naruto. 3, Soul Eater. 4, Mirai Nikki. And 5, Blue Exorcist.
You're not getting the end of anything. You're having to read manga to see the end of everything you like. Should we bunch up a little bit more? Because I've noticed Elliot's in a bit of the...
Oh yeah, sorry.
I'm going to really see half of Elliot's head. Okay, I think we're all in shot now.
Yay.
Right, so we've been a month. The Axia, who sponsors this this vlog, they've been very good to us. They said they liked the first vlog, so they've given us a new location, bigger sofa.
Hey.
We got some posts at the back. Oh, and if you saw my tweet earlier and you're wondering where's the One Punch Man, One Punch Man wall scroll, well, we couldn't keep it up. It kept falling down so much, so it's behind the sofa. I'll fish it out later.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties
Yeah,
is an
yeah.
understatement. So this month we're going to be talking about our thoughts on Ghost in the Shell and the new Sword Online Ordinal scale, which both came out this month. Me and Ren have seen both, though you guys had a bit of trouble getting to see Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
Because it was one day. Well, actually it was 2 days. Apparently, they, without telling me, they did a second screening in the dub, which I never bloody saw, which I would have liked to have seen because I've watched SAO in dub all the time, and now I've got this. But first vlog of the spring. So we're going to give our initial recommendations. I mean, now keep in mind we're basing this on only watching the first few episodes. So I'm only going to pick original series since sequels already have their audiences set. So Reece, you seen anything?
Yeah, Clockwork Planet for me.
Clockwork Planet. I've got the first volume of the manga. I'm waiting for the dub to come out. Funimation's already announced they're going to do a simul-dub of that. Is that genuinely worth watching, do you reckon?
I enjoyed it. But if you don't like ecchi, or any fan service, like High School of the Dead, then avoid it like the plague.
Oh, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised this is from the maker of No Game, No Life.
Yeah. But if you can get past all that, then it's a decent series.
Ren, you've been watching?
I haven't. I've only been watching sequels really. Obviously, My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan, which I wholeheartedly recommend because they're both fantastic.
Both have been pretty good so far.
Yeah,
I think, for me personally, Academia's been beating out Titan so far, but Titan's been probably better on a technical level.
Yeah, it's been in production a lot longer, I suppose, hasn't it? So, but it's we've been awaiting the second season for a long time now.
Yeah.
4 years.
4 bloody years, several volumes of manga.
Does not feel like 4 years. Does not feel like 4 years. At all.
You've been watching much at the minute, haven't you?
Boruto.
Boruto, yes. I've heard mixed reports on Boruto.
Barely anything's happened so far, but
See how professional we are here.
from the intro of the first episode, I think it should be good. Just as long as they don't give it filleritis.
Filleritis, which is, let's face it, Naruto was very famous for.
Yeah.
They just wouldn't let it die.
Yeah. Throwing the mind back to the three-tailed beast arc, I think was one of the worst things.
I haven't been watching Boruto at the minute, so that's all. I've got a few that I'm really recommending. In terms of one that I think would be a contender for my best original series, I go with Alice in Zoroku, which is incredibly similar to Elfen Lied. I don't know if you guys ever saw Elfen Lied.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's rather like a toned down version of that. And just just go ahead and send this text out, and we're good. And
Not a kiss.
oh shit. Do you know what's funny? I actually said if I ever got a girlfriend, she wanted to watch Maid Dragon, we'd watch it in dub. I'd say, can we watch it in dub? And that's actually happened since we did the first vlog. So that is weird. So let's all say what we actually want, and it will actually happen by the next vlog.
When last week? What?
Attack on Titan won't suck by the end.
Yeah.
We'll actually get a decent Sword Art Online series as a movie.
No.
Well, that gives away your impressions of it.
I'll sod off. Everyone else has said it. We're late to the mark of anything.
Don't wish for impossible things.
We'll get back to that in a minute. Let's go. The other ones I'd really recommend if you're not watching these are again a couple of these are quite hard if you're in America, but if you're not watching it, there's a couple that are really underrated that I think need a bit more attention. Are Grand Blue Fantasy the animation and Anonymous Noise. Both are pretty good. Although Anonymous Noise is only going to appeal to you if you like shoujo. Don't think this is the right crowd for that. No Clanad fans here, except me. But other than that, it's been pretty damn good. Academia has been the real highlight for me so far. Okay, let's move on. Ghost in the Shell. We're going to go Reece, Elliot, Ren, me in order. So let's go brief thoughts, no spoilers. What did you think of Ghost in the Shell, Reece?
I enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it? Yeah.
Yes, I enjoyed it for what it was.
Was.
If you're able to disconnect it from the anime, from the manga, and take it as its own separate product, I thought it worked.
Okay, Elliot?
My problem is I love Ghost in the Shell, I constantly try to not compare the two, and I just thought, but I just couldn't, and I just thought, it is a good film, it's just not for Ghost in the Shell fans.
Yeah. Ren?
I'm going to echo exactly what the other two have said. If you can go in with an open opinion and sort of separate the two, then you'll have a good time and you'll enjoy it. As a standalone, functions pretty well, but as an actual product of the original Ghost in the Shell, which was pretty much amazing,
It was.
really falls short, unfortunately.
You guys are taking everything away from me. I hate you all. I liked it. I liked it. I was viewing it as an adaptation of the anime and the manga and the series. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I liked the nature of it. I liked the running plot. I have my issues with it. I have real glaring issues with it. In fact, I don't think any of us would say on a technical level this is a good movie.
No.
Like, it's an okay movie on a technical level, but as enjoyment, I think it's very good. I'm guessing we all think the original Ghost in the Shell, the film, is a phenomenal piece of work.
Absolutely.
Definitely up there.
Masterpiece.
Yeah, I'd say it's my favourite science fiction film. Only possible content. Although if you count The Thing, I'd say The Thing beats it. But
Blade Runner?
Blade Runner's very good. I think Blade Runner's a very good film.
That's a very good film.
We'll be probably reviewing that in October because we're going to be seeing it at the London Film Festival.
That's sweet.
Well, yeah, just to point out, quick announcement, me and Ren are going to be reviewing several films at the London Film Festival in October. If we ever get an Airbnb sorted, we've had two owners tell us, basically you can't stay here when we want to come up. We're really, so if you got, and please don't fill in the comment section we've got a house in London because we will just automatically assume you're serial killers. And that will be, and we won't make it to the end of the year. So we would have loved to have given our full 2017 best of, but unfortunately we're dead. Although fortunately we got killed in something very similar to Elfin Lead death.
Well, if we do it now, then we can release it posthumously, so we can do it at the end of the year. And then
Boy, One Punch Man 2 was our best sequel.
That's dedication.
Also, while I'm here, I'd like to thank the Dom actually briefly. I'm a big Patreon supporter of him and Lost in Adaptation. Very good show comparing books to films, and he's been very kind. He's added to my choice to the to-do list. He's very good of you, mate. Very happy happy. I'm not going to say what I've picked. Because I don't know. I'll tell you guys after the vlog off camera because I don't know if he wants me advertising what his to-do list is. I know he's advertised a few of the future Lost in adaptations, and most recent one he did was First Blood. And he actually did a very good video on that, and he did his next one's going to be Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I've seen the film. I haven't read the book. Although I've also seen the BBC series, and I know it's a terrible. I already know from that it's a terrible adaptation of the book. I've put my request through already, and he's just added it to his list. I've got the confirmation email, pretty much. So back to Ghost in the Shell, because this vlog procrastinates all the bloody time. See the last one, we go into a whole thing about Fresh Prince.
Yes.
So I think we've all agreed we kind of liked it, but we felt it was better to go into it if you haven't seen if you really separate from everything from the rest of the franchise.
Yeah.
Which to me is rather a baffling decision, because why would DreamWorks pay presumably millions on this if they're trying to, if the only way you can really enjoy it is if you're not a fan?
By appealing to those who aren't fans in the first place.
Yeah, it had a real Blade Runner vibe to it. I felt very much Blade Runner flashbacks. I remember you because we saw the film together. You really echoed that when we got out of the cinema.
But I did. I was really impressed with the whole. So is it okay to discuss the setting and the imagery and stuff in the film?
Yeah. I don't think we're into spoilers
Yeah, it's
really
not
yet.
spoiler territory. So I'd say the look of the city, while sort of took on like a neon Tron sort of look a lot, because there was a lot of holograms and things floating around, and it really took on like the mainstream media, like kind of really pushing itself into the forefront of the technology there. But then on the other side of the coin was a lot of dilapidated areas, and it did shot for shot quite a few scenes with the original Ghost in the Shell.
I know what you mean.
So the iconic scene in the original Ghost in the Shell, where it's the Major's chasing the guy through the series of back alleys and streets. They pretty much did that shot for shot, and it really captures just how old and decrepit and how much of a contrast there is between the rich and the poor, and sort of you can see that echoes it also incredibly well with modifications and cybernetics and things as well. So it did really have the dark Blade Runner sort of vibe to it, in certain parts, especially with the chase scenes, etc. But it really didn't sort of deliver quite as well, because in my opinion it sort of copied off previous successes with the grimdark sort of future.
And it borrows so much from just about everything. There's a bit of standalone complex, there's a bit of a Rise in there, which they never should have bothered with in the first place, because a Rise is so new that it's just, or so recent was the point, that it's so fresh in people's minds, and it's not had time to get iconic.
Because I'll tell you what Cecil reminded me of. The 1996 Judge Dredd film.
Oh yeah, it is very much like Judge
Sylvester
Dredd.
Stallone.
Just Battle saying, "I am the law."
Yeah, but just like the city shops or like the massive holograms really reminded me of that.
It is a bit Judge Dredd-esque, but now that I think about it, the Major is a very similar character to Dredd in the whole shoot first, think later. But I think my other big problem. How do I put this? There's a couple of issues with the film. I think we should say from now on we're going to go into spoiler territory.
Yeah.
I think so. If you don't,
spoiler wall.
Spoiler warning here. If you haven't seen the film, we've already given our thoughts on it. Skip to the Sword Art Online bit when, or actually we're going to do a little question afterwards, and then we're going to do Sword Art Online. But let's move on. So my big problem with this film is it's not got enough nuance. It doesn't trust its audience enough.
Yeah, definitely.
Mention that.
I put this in my review. It spells out way too much in dialogue.
I mean, I watched like the original just today, just before coming here, and I still think it's great because it doesn't tell you that much. It hints at things. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, in a new one, it just goes, this happened and this and this.
I tell you one of the things I really did like about it, the guy who played the chief. I think he was brilliant.
He was great.
He was one of the redeeming features about that film. Just like they didn't need to give him the badass scene that they did.
Yeah.
In fact, the scenes and like the independence,
Yeah.
and the strength that character has, and they did, and it just really enhanced it.
It's
I will say as well, they really did a good job about making Scarlett Johansson look like Major.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson
actually
really does
that's a
look
good
like
point,
her.
Yeah.
I actually thought her casting was pretty good. I know a lot of people have said, the thing about her being really about her identity means that her being a whitewashing thing is. I actually felt it made the film better than it made it worse. I think because I think it was a very interesting commentary about race and
The greater disconnect.
The funny thing is, the only people who were fine with her not being a Japanese woman were the Japanese.
Yeah. Interestingly enough. Yeah.
I always find it's this interesting thing where a lot of people will call out racism when they're not in the affected group, and the affected group saying actually we're not.
Yeah, we're not actually too bothered.
We're not too bothered about this. We were actually quite fine. Could you stop appropriating this? I was like, no, we got this. We got this. You're not.
Yeah.
We'll handle this. How dare you? But I liked the casting. I like the fact it turned out that she was actually Motoko Kusanagi, because I was saying throughout the film, why did they bother to change her name? There's what possible. I think she could have an Asian name and still be white. And then they had the reveal of there being a political activist and all that business, and
which I didn't get really.
I think it's more meant to be it's more meant to be commentary on sort of the Occupy Wall Street movement and all that business, which again they never should have bothered putting that in.
Yeah, but out of all the films you could have put that in, why a Ghost in the Shell remake? There's no need for it.
There's one thing that Ghost in the Shell is very good at political commentary, but that's not really the sort of political. Like the second season of Standalone Complex, for all its faults, and there's a lot of faults to the second season of Standalone Complex, it did know how to do its whole refugee crisis, and it's eerily similar to Aleppo and what's going on with the Syrian situation at the minute.
To bring it back to reality.
Screw you guys. It was. Don't back me up on this. But I really felt like, that's my other big problem was I don't think Bartow was in the film enough.
Yeah.
Because Bartow is a really important character in the Ghost in the Shell phenomenon. I will admit the actor they got to play him looks really like the character.
His cybernetic eyes were too small, though, in my opinion.
Yeah, they were.
He had the operation.
The thing I found really odd is, like, in the original, from the beginning, Bartow had the mechanical eyes.
Yeah.
In this one, in the start, he doesn't.
Oh, I was, and we all knew he was going to get it because we saw in the trailer. So it was like, okay, when does his eyes go? And how elaborate is this going to be? I literally thought, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, because it's weird because they made him against upgrading in the beginning of the film, but as soon as he's in an accident, I want cool new eyes.
Yeah, and he's not even bothered about the fact he's got tiny little cybernetic eyes. He's just like, look, this is my life now.
They're tactical. I've got X-ray.
I'm amazed we've gone about tiny eyes without doing a dick joke. But my other thing is also, I like the fact there was a majority of the cast were actually Asian. I actually think that's because it's a lot of people said, it's not really suiting the Japanese aesthetic, and I keep telling people, Ghost in the Shell's not set in Japan; it's set in Hong Kong.
Yeah. But I will say the majority of the actors that they got for like members of the public, etc., and even members of the team in the squad, they weren't actually. There was two Japanese people in the squad.
But even then, Hong Kong is actually a bit of a melting pot of several parts of Asia. It's a bit of a business capital, so it makes sense that there's a lot of people of different races in Hong Kong. It would have made a lot less sense if it was set in Tokyo.
Yeah, true.
Or Hokkaido, or no, Hokkaido's around. Osaka.
Plus, I suppose it's kind of pointless to debate the whole ethnicity issue when it's set in an alternate universe in the future. So.
Yeah, but at the same time, with the whole thing, I think the ethnicity is not the biggest problem with this film.
No.
There's many other glaring issues.
What do you guys
highlight themselves?
If you had to sum up in a Reece, if you had to sum up in a word, what's your biggest problem with this film?
Side characters.
Yeah, side characters.
God, yes.
The side characters are the biggest issue. Like Togusa, for example. Not only have you got him in the film, and he's played by the banker from the mob banker from Dark Knight, which I didn't actually notice until Ren pointed out.
I completely
It was, but he's so inconsequential to the film. At least the chief gets a scene. I don't remember Togusa doing anything.
No.
Yeah, did he even drop his name at any point?
They drop it briefly at the beginning, and they
Ah.
point out that he's the only one who doesn't have cybernetic enhancements
Yeah.
of any sort. He's 100%
Wait,
human.
is that? Oh, he's no way. As if they got him.
Oh, has it just clicked?
I didn't even recognise that he was the same character. Like that's how.
Yeah,
I didn't either, I'll be honest.
He's Togusa.
Oh, God, okay.
So that shows how much attention you were paying to the
Yeah,
bloody
he's also
movie.
about like 20 years older as well in the film, so I suppose.
Oh
Anyway.
my god.
And also, his mullet wasn't big enough.
Yeah, no,
He needed a bigger mullet.
Needs a Kurt Russell the Thing mullet, I think.
Yeah.
Really. But yeah, no. To sort of build on that as well, side characters. The two, the sniper guy.
Yeah.
Aside from the chief, was the only guy to actually speak Japanese as well.
Why does it-
Him and the girl, they got about 2 action scenes when they were chasing after the guys in the bill lorry, and that was pretty much it.
I didn't get the point of why only 2 characters would speak Japanese.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was-
exactly.
And like,
yeah.
and like, it's just someone speaking English,
Yeah,
another
yeah,
speaking
yeah.
Japanese. It's just like,
Like,
how do they understand each other?
Scully
Because
Johansson is free.
Because
to
we're
hold
so afraid of our fan
conversation.
base that we have to put in at least one character speaking Japanese
Yeah,
for
yeah,
subtitles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
In that case, even with him, make them speak Japanese or just have them speak English.
Pick
Don't
one.
do the 2 together.
one.
It does not work.
Yeah, that was.
Wondered how long it would take for us to get a rant in. It's you mean how's the way we're going on at the minute? You would come into if you came to this vlog late, or you'd assume we hated this film,
Yeah.
but
It has merits.
it does have its merits.
It does definitely have moments that does make it a kind of a good film.
While I felt it relied way too much on copying sequences from other sources, from other versions of Ghost in the Shell, I did appreciate its level to detail in terms of the fans. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it. The problem was a lot of it didn't actually have a reason to be there. Like the geishas,
Yeah.
that's just pure fan service.
Like that was
Another good kind of fan service.
there were a lot of scenes that just I don't
Not Food
feel.
Wars fan service.
There are just some scenes
Like-
that I just don't think needed to be in there. Really.
Yeah. There's a ton that really does not need to be in this film.
Like that scene in the nightclub. I just think, why is it even in there?
Yeah.
Because we gotta dance and sell this soundtrack.
There was a bit of an annoying thing I noticed in that, and that's when Bato's using the toilet, and there's a character there, obviously side character who appears female, and like it's a bit annoying to me just because like.
Yeah.
You know, because he sort of gives like a dirty or like a second glance to the person as they walk off, and it's just because it's a female character like in a men's toilet, and it's
I just
do you need
kind of
that? Do you need the joke?
I just kind of see it as them going, we can do humor, guys.
Yeah, it's a shit. Sorry, excuse me. It's a bad.
Oh, it's alright. It's
Joke.
on YouTube. No,
Yeah,
we're not getting any monetization.
Yeah.
for this.
Yes.
It's a bad joke and it's unnecessary in my opinion. But yeah.
It's also, I think, the soundtrack is rather underwhelming actually. I mean, apart from the
They had
fact
a
that
nice throwback at the beginning, which was similar to the.
and the
original.
closing credit
And
song
the
is the
closing
opening
credits,
credit
yeah.
song from the first film.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
I really wish they'd actually just left it at the beginning. I really wish they'd just recreate that scene
Yeah,
for scene
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's such the original one is such an amazing scene.
It is, and like I feel like they added too much more. Like they feel like there's not enough action in this scene. We need more.
Yeah.
Well, I think we should talk about the villains because the villains are if everything good they do with the villains, they do something bad. Like Kuze is the villain in this one, but allegedly yes, but the thing is he's not playing Kuze. He's playing the puppet master. I don't know why they didn't just call him the puppet master. He's practically the puppet master. He's more a combination of the puppet master and the laughing man, which were very similar villains already. But he's very
Wait,
much.
I'm sorry, I forget. Which are the 2 villains? Which are the one are we talking about?
Puppet Master's the original.
The Puppet Master's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
original
I
film.
know. I mean, like which.
The robot, the cybernetic guy who we think's the villain for the first bit, and then,
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
and then but then again, he's pretty much cast aside from most of the second half of the film. We leave with the guy who's that built the Major, who's basically at the beginning he basically set up as Baron von Stickety Laugh.
Who
Yeah,
looks
yeah,
a
he
lot
just-
like Liam Neeson.
One thing I do really find annoying how it's just like, oh, he's a villain because he wants to use Major as a war web, as a war web. I just think this just seems American. This
Yeah.
does not seem like a Ghost in the Shell film.
Yeah, because I tell you what it reminded me of. The
It feels like
RoboCop remake.
Yes, it's very much the RoboCop remake.
Yeah.
I mean,
the
this-
corporate guy is the main villain.
Feels like Transformers.
Oh no! Let's not say something we can't take back. This is no.
Oh no, that bit felt.
I think it's I think the RoboCop remake's a much better comparison, but that being said, the RoboCop remake is much worse than Ghost in the Shell.
I haven't seen RoboCop remake, honestly.
Put it this way,
I don't want to.
Ren's all right about it. I know for a fact because you had a bit. You said you were a bit surprised when I put it in my 10 worst films of 2014 list.
Yeah,
Was it 2014 or 2015?
2014, I think it came
Yeah,
out.
2014. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, because it was following up on the Total Recall remake, which was even worse.
Colin Farrell, you've fallen so far. He kind of brought it back as Grindelwald, to be fair, I think.
I try to avoid remakes as much as I can.
As a rule.
We're not going on to Fantastic Beasts again. I am not. I'm so done with that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it enough, but seriously, can everyone stop going on about it? It wasn't as amazing as you guys have made it
When I
out
think
to
of
be.
when I think of remakes, I think more of Fan Four Stick.
Oh, Jesus, that piece of. I actually nearly got in trouble with the cinema with that one because as soon as put it this way, when I went to see it, there was a bunch of little kids messing about, and it was more entertaining waiting to see how long it was going to take them to get kicked out than watching the actual movie. And by the end of it, me and my cousin we went to see it with, and we literally just flipped the bird at the screen. When the slogan came on, we just flipped the bird at the screen, walked out, and we were just like, oh my god, this movie sucks, and we were ranting about it on the lift down, and there was a guy in the lift who said, oh calm down, it's just a movie. Like, were you watching the same thing? Or calm down, it wasn't that. Have you even said that? Or no, he said calm down, it wasn't that bad. And I was like, did you watch the same thing? The Fantastic Four were not even on screen together
Are you
until last
aware
week.
of what you just
I
paid to see?
just think this is the Fantastic Four, not Batman.
Yeah, why is it so dark? I mean, the Star Trek pointed out in his video, why is it so dark all the time?
Turn on a light.
Why are we have an action scene every once in a while? But back to Ghost in the Shell.
We're getting way off topic now.
See how professional we are on this show. That's our, we should get a shirt saying that with our faces on it.
You're just professional.
But I literally, I think the biggest merit I had for this film, was it felt like it'd been made with a lot of love and care, and the practical effects are actually really damn good.
They are really good.
Like and I've watched a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and you can really tell how much love and effort was put into this. I really appreciated that, and considering how much films are relying on CGI now, that was I really appreciated that. That was so in my books it earns a lot of marks for that, and I felt like I like the fact they put the focus on the major. Like, we've all gone on about the fact the side characters are rather underused, but at the same time, at least they weren't overusing it. At least they didn't take away from the major.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
I'd say the approach that they took for the film in comparison, well, the live action as opposed to the original, is that they gave the major a lot more depth as a character.
Yeah.
She had a lot more issues that were explored. You know, like finding her identity. I haven't seen any of the other apart from the original Ghost in the Shell.
Yes, same.
Yeah, but I think that all of the themes and all of the issues that the major goes after in the live action film really aren't touched on in the original. So it's quite interesting to sort of build up more of a.
Well, they kind of touched upon, but they touched on a little more subtly than they are in this film.
Yeah, and subtlety is not something that this film does.
No, it does feel like it's slapping you in the face with a glove saying the word subtlety on it.
In the original, it just goes, maybe she's was once human and died. Yeah. In the new one, they just go, oh yeah, she is.
Actually, it's a different origin to what we got in the second season of Standalone Complex, which was another real issue, because then that one she was a plane crash survivor. There was who was a little girl, and Kuze is the first person she fell in love with. Like, really, we're doing this now.
But love is the root of all good storylines. What don't you understand about this?
Love is the root of all good storylines. Have you seen Twilight?
Yeah.
Oh,
Twilight was a good film series, and I defend that.
Also, if you're watching it in the dub, if you're watching the dub, she offers herself sexually to a guy who's voiced by Izzy from Digimon. I was expecting him to say prodigious. Oh Jesus, don't put that in that's a Digimon / fiction waiting to happen. I don't know much more we can say about the film. I think we pretty much got it down. It was a bit weird seeing the DeLorean in it.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Marty, Marty, where we're going, we don't need no roads. Or our bodies, apparently. I don't know, Doc, I don't think I can be a full cybernetic. So, I think we're all agreed on this film. We think it's pretty good, but it could have been much better.
Yeah.
I think Benedict Sage, when he did his review of it, he said he wished it was worse than it was, because then he would have something to talk about. And I kind of get his point on that.
It's honestly, a lot of the things in it are kind of forgettable, if you ask me.
Yeah,
I only watch it on the weekends. I've forgotten a lot about it.
Yeah, I must admit, it's not really staying in. We saw it on opening day, which was about a month from when we recorded this. It's not really stuck in my head. Out of all the films I've seen this month, but I've seen a few films this month, it's not stuck in my head. In fact, the film, I mean, admittedly, we saw Sword Art Online a lot more recently, but that stuck a lot more in my head.
Absolutely.
And we'll go into our thoughts on that in a minute, but it's really, I think, I don't think it's going to have many. I don't think it's going to get any. It might get some sequels because I suspect it will do well in China.
Yeah.
And Warcraft's getting its sequel because it did well in China.
Ah, yeah.
But I think I'm hoping it does well enough just to sort of get the ball rolling on some live-action anime adaptations, because there's not enough of those.
Well, yeah, this is something you said just after we saw the film as well, Cal. It's I think it serves as a good interim between. So at the moment we've had quite a few.
What Iron Man did for Marvel.
Live-action films, basically. Obviously, we've had Death Note live-action,
which is coming out in a couple of months.
Yeah, which is coming out on the Netflix series, which is interesting.
Which we'll give our thoughts on that probably very end of August. We're going to really binge watch that and give our thoughts in August. So, have you got a Netflix account, Reece?
Yeah.
Excellent. So that's easy enough. Oh yeah, because we mentioned about it last time with the After Earth gag. Watch the first episode, by the way, if you want that. We have surprising views on what we thought was the best anime of winter. Incidentally, I watched A.H. Brandon's Thoughts of Winter, and we picked the same anime of the season. We both picked Interview with Monster Girls.
Really?
Yeah, it was very surprising. He picked it with another thing. I think he picked it with Maid Dragon. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head what he picked it with, but big plug for his series, because I really enjoy watching his seasonal roundups, and he does some good vlogs on the episodes. He's reviewing every episode of Academia and Titan at the minute, as well as a couple of other original series. But with that being said, with this, we want this to be what The Dark Knight and Iron Man was for comic films.
Yeah.
What anime would we like? What anime movies would we like to see come out from this?
I'd love to see. Okay, I'd love to see a live-action Hajime no Ippo, because
how difficult would that be to get Americans to?
It would be incredibly. I think
because you've got to sell it to a general audience as well.
Yeah, I mean the golden age of boxing has passed, and that's when the manga started coming out, sort of early '80s or mid '80s.
Yeah, you would probably be accused of doing an Ali rip-off or a Rocky rip-off.
Exactly. It's hard to do that, but I really enjoy the compelling story and the characters and just generally the action scenes. Because
it would be worth it, but I think you'd really struggle with it.
It's incredibly difficult to change it from manga and anime because in those scenes, in the medium of anime, it's so easy to go over the top with the animation and to really highlight all the areas of action. But in a live action film, it would be very difficult. It would end up looking more like Rocky or any other sort of boxer film. But
especially with Creed coming out recently.
A good Hajime no Ippo interpretation.
What about you, Reece? Have you thought of anything?
Yeah, I always said a good Cowboy Bebop. It's like Firefly, but take it to the next level.
Yeah.
We've already got a Cowboy Bebop movie coming out about a week. It's called Guardians of the Galaxy. I wouldn't be surprised actually if Guardians of the Galaxy borrowed quite a lot from Cowboy Bebop. I really feel like James Gunn must have watched some Cowboy Bebop because some of the resemblances are really striking.
Well, yeah, it's like the whole spaghetti western, the spaghetti western thing that Firefly does as well, and Serenity.
Yeah, but Firefly is basically a rip-off of Outlaw Star.
Yeah.
In fact, we actually probably could do a whole vlog on Firefly versus Outlaw Star.
Yeah.
If you actually if you want us to do that, put it in the comment section. We will make that a future episode.
That will happen.
I need to rewatch Firefly then. I actually watched it. I watched it about a couple of years ago, and I'm amazed how good it is.
I haven't watched it in years.
I've only seen Serenity, so I know who dies.
And it's got the one thing it actually has, Outlaw Star and Firefly. One thing they both have is great opening theme songs.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both completely different, but amazing theme songs. The only the thing about Bebop is it's been floating around for ages. Keanu Reeves is apparently going to be playing Spike at one point. There was always
not a good choice.
Whoa.
No, not Keanu Reeves, please.
he's apparently a very big fan of it. But that being said, I beforehand I would have said no. But after seeing John Wick, the two John Wick films, I'm not so sure now. I think Benedict Cumberbatch's also been thrown around occasionally.
No.
Well, it's Vicious.
No, as Spike.
Oh.
Vicious, maybe actually. I think he'd be very good as Vicious.
Benedict Cumberbatch needs to stay away from good roles. I don't like him as an actor. He's overrated.
Oh, sod off.
I mean,
Doctor Strange was awesome. He was brilliant in The Imitation Game. I really liked him in. Yeah, The Fifth. He even seems to make bad films pretty good by his proxy. Like The Fifth Estate is a bad movie, but
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy was tedious, though. You have to admit that.
okay, yeah, fine, but that wasn't Cumberbatch's fault. If anything, he was one of the better performances in that one, along with Gary Oldman and Tom Hardy. John Hurt's kind of wasted a bit in his role, but that being said, I actually kind of like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Elliot, you thought of anything you'd like to see come to the big screen?
My first thought was Fullmetal Alchemist, but that's already been done.
Yeah, but it's not been done as a Western live action film,
Yeah.
so there's every chance.
I would actually probably say Mirai Nikki, or The Future Diary.
The Future Diary would work very well, actually.
Because I mean, it has compelling stories, interesting characters, and I would really like to see how they would do it. Really.
I'd really be interested in that. I'd like to see them get a good director like. So I think I'd like to see a horror director do it. I think a horror director would get it down much better than an action director, say.
Yeah.
Someone like trying to think. Someone like John Woo or someone like that. Or the guy who did The Conjuring.
I was thinking a little like Frank.
James Wan, that's it.
I was thinking a little like Frank Darabont, the guy who did the first season Walking Dead.
Frank Darabont would actually be quite good at doing The Future Diary, I think. I think Frank Darabont would be a good choice.
Just keep Shyamalan's hands away from it.
Yeah.
What a twist.
Don't get me started on Last Airbender.
Yeah, well, oh god, no, we'll be here all day. Let's leave The Last Airbender at the door. I'd really like to see Akira finally get treatment. But I'd like to see it as 2 movies, and it adapt the manga this time. You get the full manga storyline. That would be at least something different that fans haven't had yet. They haven't had that second half of the manga told to them. So let's do it. Let's make it 2 movies. Get the guy who directed The Raid to direct it, because that and Judge Dredd, it's very similar to The Raid and Judge Dredd, so I think he would suit that sort of director. I would get Taron Egerton to play Kaneda, and get Ben Schnetzer to play Tetsuo. Probably you want some big American actors to play. You get the up and coming guys to play those roles, and get some get a bigger actor to play someone like the General or the Scientist. I think it's. There's a lot to go with it, but the only problem would be finding a good child actor to play Akira. But that being said, some of the child acting roles have been very, very good lately. I've seen some very good child acting roles that have been really done well, especially if you've ever seen the film Room. Room's got a brilliant performance from Jacob Tremblay.
Even though he was in Smurfs 2.
Yes, let's forget that he was in Smurfs 2, because at least everyone has that movie they don't put on the CV.
Everyone has that film that they're ashamed of.
Yeah.
Not including porn.
I'd also suggest Attack on... let's put it this way, I don't think Jack Black's playing Neverending Story 3 on his resume.
What? He was in Neverending Story 3?
He was!
Yeah, he's the leader of the Nasty.
Yeah,
Why are people making Neverending Story 3? Why did there need to be that many films?
Because the first 2 sold big, and...
Yeah.
They actually made another one called Tales of the Neverending Story.
Don't get me started on that.
I haven't seen it. Don't want to.
I think apparently there is a plan for a reboot that Leonardo DiCaprio is trying to get started, but it's been in development hell. Akira's actually been in development hell for ages. There's been stopped and started production at least 5 times. I'd also kind of like to see him have a go at Attack on Titan. I think Attack on Titan would make a very good film.
Has that had the live action now?
It's had a Japanese film which was very bad.
Yeah.
At least first half. The second half kind of stays, but the first half is really bad.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a live action Death Note series. I don't think that was very good.
No, the live action Death Note film. A lot of people really rate them, but I think they're
Like
bad.
the films I found okay. I mean, like they did a TV series.
Oh yeah, that one was
that
pretty bad.
was bad. I mean,
Is it
they
bad?
completely ruined Ellen there.
Is it bad for me to say I don't like the live action Japanese films of Death Note?
Not really. It's not. They're not amazing.
They're not very good. Reece back me up on this one.
Yeah, I thought it was just average.
Yeah, I'd go as far as to say they're bad. Especially Elle Save the World. I feel that was a really terrible film.
I've only seen the first and second one.
But we'll probably discuss more into that. The one thing I will say actually on Ghost in the Shell before we move on to Sword Online is, with this one, I at least felt it was more memorable than the one that was labelled The New Movie. You know, that one was just called Ghost in the Shell, The New Movie, that they briefly did in cinemas.
Inventive branding.
Yeah, because that was just a load of Arise stuff in it, and it felt to me like that was so forgettable. I barely remember anything about that film, whereas at least I remember something about this film. And that's the thing that made it stand out for me. At least I remember this more than some things about this franchise. So, moving on, Sword Art Online. What did we think? We all have opinions on the series. So, what do we think of the series?
Everyone knows I hate it.
You hate it.
Good and bad, I would say.
Yeah, Ren?
Yeah, poor, really poor.
I think there's more good than bad in it. I actually wrote a chapter. I wrote in the beginning of my review, and it's the beginning of the chapter of the book I'm writing on anime. You've got two camps for Sword Art Online. You've got the camp of people that love it, think it's the saviour of anime, and think there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, and they're wrong. Then you've got the camp that hate it, think everything to do with it is complete crap, and that it's destroyed anime, and anyone who says anything positive about it is instantly awful.
Yeah.
And they're also wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm more in the third camp that thinks it's okay. I think the first season I think was very enjoyable, but it's flawed. There's a lot of flaws.
The first half of the first season
It's fantastic.
It's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
If they had stopped it there, I think it
Yeah.
would be an amazing anime.
Absolutely.
Don't get me started on the fairy bit.
But at least the fairy bit actually had some stakes to it, which is something the second season really struggled with. I think the second season really struggles in the stakes department. Though you really like the Mother Rosario arc.
Yeah, I'm going to amend my previous saying it's poor. It's good, and I really want to love it, but I can't because it's bad. Season 2 was a prime example of that.
Season 2 is a very mixed bag at best.
So before the Mother's Rosario arc was the Excalibur arc, if I'm not mistaken.
And the Death Gun arc, and the Excalibur.
Before that was Death Gun.
Gun Gale was good though.
The
Gun Gale was alright.
The Gun Gale portion was pretty damn good actually. I enjoyed that. You know, you had the recurring.
And they brought death back into it.
Yeah, they actually gave some risks to the characters involving themselves in the narrative.
I do think there was like some actual kind of good humor in that one.
Yeah,
as
no,
well.
for sure. Yeah, and
like everyone mistaking Kirito for a girl.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, Kirito.
Like for me, they had one of the best characters in my opinion. Like one of the strongest and well-written one was Ninon.
Shinon.
Sorry, Shinon. Who am I thinking Ninon? Yeah. Wait, was it? Oh, okay, Shinon.
Shion.
No, Sinon, isn't it? The sniper girl.
The one whose arse we keep seeing.
Yeah,
that one.
Sinon, sorry.
I think it's Shion from Cardfight Vanguard.
I was thinking Ninon from something. I don't know where I've got that from.
It's Shinon. Let's move on,
sorry,
please.
sorry, to Sinon. In my opinion, she was one of the better characters because she had.
I don't want to spend all day talking about Sword Art Online. I've got to go home.
Yeah, we'll get through this.
Oh, for God's sake! Look. The basic point is, the Death Gun arc was alright, although they could have had a better reveal of the villain.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It was a bad explanation.
We've already pissed off half the internet by saying that we either hate it or we like Sword Art Online. So,
and saying that we kind of like NA, I think we have pissed off the whole internet.
So if you're still watching, hello. We'll actually talk about the movie now.
You're the smart people.
So without going into spoilers, we're going to say more as last time. Reece didn't see the film, neither did Elliot, because it was only shown for one day only in the UK. By the way, we're not late on the mark. This didn't come out in the UK until a couple of weeks ago from us recording this, and I probably uploaded this on the day that we've recorded it. Although might have done it a day after we recorded it. But it's what's my opinion of we'll go with Ren's opinion of the film first.
Yeah, it really sort of mirrors what I said before. Like, has good parts, but overall delivery is a bit dire, really.
If you buy the pop figure of Asuna, she can't stand to save her life. I've had to prop this thing up on I can't remember, I think it's got a lunchbox I've got or something in my house, and it's just the most possible thing. Anyway, we're gonna do what we do with everything Sword Arm related. We're gonna keep Kirito and Asuna for most of the vlog. Then halfway through the vlog, we're gonna throw Asuna away. And just because you all want Kirito, I don't care how much you like Asuna.
Because he's such a deep and interesting character. Ooh.
Everyone loves Kirito.
Oh,
Do you know what's weird? Until I got to the second season, I never understood the Kirito hate, and then the second season I got it.
Now we get it.
It's like well, with Gun Girl, it's like the less of Kirito we have, the better, because there are such much better characters, and especially with Asuna getting developments and such.
She's like my favourite Sword Art character.
Yeah, she's sick.
She's amazing.
Yeah, because she's the only girl that actually does anything.
Oh dear.
Precisely, yeah.
It's but my opinion of you didn't like the film at all.
No, I mean, again, there were parts that they could have done well, but really didn't for reasons that, you know.
This is the most. I've seen several films this year because I've obviously working as a film critic, and this is the most infuriating film I've watched all year because this could have been amazing.
Yeah.
This could have been a brilliant film. They could have done it. Because as far as I'm aware, they've not based this on any of the light novel storylines. This is a completely original. I think this is a completely original story. I could be wrong on that one. I haven't read the progressive manga, light novel, which I think is loosely based on. But I really thought the first 30 minutes, I thought this film's actually going to be the final. Finally, we're getting a good SAO thing. We're finally getting something good, and then it all collapses in on itself.
Yeah.
To give brief synopsis of the plot without spoiling anything, there's then we'll go into spoilers. There's they got this new headsets on that have basically turned the world into a VR game. It's basically like Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
And then Kirito and Asuna get interested in the game because SAO bosses start showing up in the various events, and there's also this idol who's kind of like the virtual idol that I've got the travel blanket of at home from Loot Anime. Don't judge.
I think she actually made her first appearance in one of the video games.
Yeah, I think you're right on that one.
Yeah, Lost Song, I think.
That's a Yuna.
Yeah.
Yuna appears. I think they retcon it so this is her first appearance in the franchise for the series.
Did she appear in one of the games?
Yeah, Lost Song.
Yeah, no.
Don't get it.
No.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I heard none of the SAO games are that good. Are any of them that good?
I don't know. I've only played Lost Songs and it didn't even only be one boss and then just thought.
At least for once they actually gave Kirito and Asuna a wedding. Cheapskates. But going back to the film, you got that Aiji, the villain of this one, who I'll correct if I'm wrong in the comment section. Aiji, yeah. But he was said to be he's kind of following the scene. He's basically like Kirito for these games because he's the number 2 ranked player. I remember they said who will become number ranked player, and I was actually thinking about that. Like, gee, I wonder who's going to get the number 1 rank.
That's a real question, isn't it?
And then suddenly, next thing you know, it was Klein.
Yeah. I wish Klein was number 1.
What a twist!
Wait until you find out what happens to Klein in this film.
I'm so excited.
It's so that and something happens which we'll go into spoiler territory on. So we go into spoiler territory now?
Spoiler wall.
Spoiler warning. I'm a terrible. We're gonna build a wall and make the otakus pay for it.
We're terrible people.
We are terrible people. Screw Donald Trump. It's a rule of the internet. Everyone has to do a Donald Trump gag.
Yeah. If you're on the internet, you immediately hate Trump. Yeah. That's how it works.
Or you're racist. Just to be clear, we do genuinely hate Donald Trump. What happens is during one of the fights, because a few of the SAO players the SAO survivors get targeted, and during the fight we discover Asuna doesn't succeed in one of the boss fights, and she begins losing her memory of the Sword Art Online incident. So she starts losing those memories, and this could have been something genuinely interesting they could have done with this. Too bad they don't do anything at all with it. It's just a plot device to get Kirito back in the plot.
Yeah.
Because he's largely absent through most of the beginning of the film.
Yeah. And if it stayed away, that way, it might have actually been probably well.
And believe me, the reason they take people's memories from the game, that's even more stupid.
Yeah.
Do tell!
Are we discussing this now?
Yeah, we're kind of discussing this. We won't go into full detail about the thing, but the whole point of Asuna losing her memories is...
It's literally just a device to push Kirito back into the spotlight to some form of action.
This could have been something really interesting. They could have had to actually fall in love again, and Asuna could have learned that Kirito's genuinely the bloke who genuinely cares about her.
It could have just been a lot better.
It could have been so much better. It could have been Asuna finding her strength, despite the fact I don't know what happened here, but I know what I am, and I will fight for this.
Yeah. She became a real sort of...
It's a damsel in distress. At least she did more than she did in the fairy arc, and she did more than she did in half of season 2. And
yeah.
But
she did nothing in Gun Gale.
She did nothing.
No,
in Gun
she
Gale.
literally just cheered on from the sidelines and saw.
They've actually given her 2 fucking pom poms. I've just sworn again. It's so bad that they didn't do anything with her again.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed with her.
She did have some good development. In a few of the fights, as we mentioned before, with the SAO bosses, we did see some sort of action from her, and a good deal of sort of skill and her merit as an SAO MMO player.
You have to
really
admit,
came into play, but she just didn't showcase it enough, and then obviously as soon as she started losing her memory, it was like, oh no, sorry, she's uninvolved, she can't remember anything, sorry, can't do.
This franchise hurts my brain.
It's just, oh crap, people might get invested in Asuna. I know.
Got to put it back to Kirito. He's a much more interesting character.
Everyone loves Kirito.
Yeah.
Jesus Coon in the house. He really is Jesus Coon in this film. I don't. We're going to go to our thoughts on the future later, but it's. And then there's a whole thing about Yuna we never quite find out everything about. They never quite, but it's not because they don't try to reveal everything. They're just very sketchy about everything.
Yeah.
It's like, how does this work? We don't know.
Yeah, exactly. The explanations that they offer throughout the film are so lackluster and
they're borderline questionable even by the weird standards that SAO set up to this point.
Even when they do offer an explanation, it's so baseless. They could say anything and people would just go, okay, that's
this film was.
You have to mindlessly accept everything.
This film was just so. It could have been so much better. And then Eiji, who actually was a very good villain actually for most of it. And while we're on the subject, did the people that
just stop making games where people have the potential to die or lose memories. It's that simple.
The thing is, the main villain had a reason for doing it. It was kind of because, he wanted to create a world, his own world.
Oh, by the way, he has a cameo in this.
Oh yeah, Kayaba comes back. He can't make that without Kayaba.
But he's dead.
Right? Don't ask me how he keeps turning back up. They never addressed the cliffhanger at the end of season 2, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, that's not even touched on in the slightest, which is really irritating.
It's like all these supervillains from the superhero movies going, oh, he's alive now.
Well, yeah, the thing is, my issue with Kayaba is, and I spoke to you about this before as well, Carl, is that he's seen as this major overarching villain of season 1. With the first half of it particularly, and he says, he's going to make a return at some point, but he's mentioned and he's cameoed in so many of the different things that he's just not relevant anymore. It's just like, oh yeah, Kayaba's going to show up. What's he going to do this time? Is he going to do some zany, interesting thing? No, he's just going to be there and be incredibly.
Sword Art Online writers, do something with
Kayaba
already.
The
second you decide to have a point to this, let me know.
Just him going, hey, I existed.
Yeah,
bye now.
Ooh, I was in the first season, you won't see me again.
Something you recognize.
I'm irrelevant for now. But later they may do something with
At least he wasn't a rapey villain from the first season.
Yeah, Oberon was
I remember actually Oberon I didn't mind as a villain too much until we got to episode 24, and that reaction basically was, okay, we're doing this now.
Yeah.
We're seriously doing this.
Yeah.
You guys, yeah, fuck you guys.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but with the second season, half of season 1, I just really cannot stand it, and the villain is just horrible.
Yeah.
But the second you remove death from Sword Art Online, it becomes less interesting.
Like when you sort of see Kirito dying at the second half, and you just see him slowly going past, you just think, you're not losing anything.
Yeah.
All you do is you go back and you come back again.
Can I just also say for the record, with this, one of the things I put is the laws of physics don't work like this in the SAO. The whole reason they can do this is because they're plugged into the headset.
Yeah.
Whereas they're now in the real world. They can't do all the backflips and the sword fight like they can in that one. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Also, I think it's worth noting that Kirito seems to have inhuman constitution in the real world as well as in the actual.
I've never seen Reece look so
Except
disgusted
in
at
the
something.
game world. Except in the game mode, it makes sense.
Yeah, in the game. Oh, he's got lightning fast reaction times. Okay, that's fine. But like in the movie, there's like a short, brief training period for Kirito, and he's trying to train to be Eiji, who's like this gymnast, really fit sort of character who's able to really compete very well in this. Sort
Who,
of
by the way, we all were led to believe was the main villain for most of this.
and then he just turned out to be a lot.
And he's a stooge for the real villain, who's the
Yeah.
guy who's a Kaiba clone.
Yeah.
The guy who set the AR devices
Yeah.
is actually the villain, and Yuna turns out to be his daughter, and he's trying to steal everyone's
Yeah.
memories of SAO.
Yeah. So she died in the original SAO.
Okay.
And
Shyamalan, have you done something with this?
yeah, this is very, very
I can
Shyamalan-esque.
feel his fingers grasping around the storyline.
Yeah.
Just, can I touch it? Yeah, sure.
Oh, you killed it! God damn it!
That would have been funnier if Elliot's head had not disappeared just out of shot for that.
Sorry.
The funny thing is, we need a bigger couch. The funny thing is about all that is that he thinks by stealing everyone's memories, he can recreate her.
Yeah, so that's what Yuna is. So Yuna's the idol character that's she's.
But she's also sort of a ghost that appears in the AR games.
Yeah,
Don't
but
ask me
it's
how
never
that
explained.
happened.
No. But I mean, interesting to note as well is how every subsequent release of VR games, so Gun Gale, Alfheim, Sword Art Online, and the new AR one, which I can't remember the name of.
Ordinal Scale. It's in the bloody title, you
Ordinal
idiot.
Scale. They all have compatibility for what's the fairy child's name?
Yui.
They can all fit Yui into the game, and
Ain't she
I
just
don't think
precious?
developers, when they come out with the game, are like, right, we're gonna have a feature where you can have a small fairy child follow you around everywhere, and yeah, it's just interesting that she can access all of the game files and tell them everything and basically hack the game for them on every level.
Oh please, everyone's hacking video games all the time.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
If someone was bound to do it. You gotta assume Kirito's fucking around with some of that stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The only thing about
I'm sorry, do we need a censor bar with you now?
yes, we do. Well, I'm starting now. Might as well finish. The weird thing about the weird thing about this film, I think, is also the fact that the final climax, which was the one thing they actually did right, is even then it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like
they had to put it in there because it showcases all of the characters that you know and love, apart from the side ones because you can't love them.
Well, what we said about, but going back to Klein actually, he gets injured early on.
Yeah.
He gets seriously hurt. He's in the hospital for half the film.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get the colourful cast that many people like more than Kirito, and they only focus on Kirito.
Pretty much.
It literally always happens. They shove the side characters to the side because but the thing is, I mean, with Klein, with Silica, etc., these are players who have been playing MMOs and VR games for many years. In fact, Klein and the rest of the cast from SAO were trapped in an MMO for about 2 years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
2 years.
And yet these guys just get absolutely wrecked every time they play an MMO.
This thing takes place about 4 years after the events of
And
SAO.
they've been playing Alfheim Online over the course of the time that they haven't been in SAO and Gun Gale Online, and yet they suck at video games somehow.
Don't try to put logic in it.
Because one thing I heard is when Klein gets injured, it's why is the guy who did it not arrested?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There's no reason for him not to be arrested.
It's basically kind of like the opposite of Sonic Team at the minute.
Yeah, but it's like
because SAO because everyone in SAO is a complete moron.
Yeah, everybody apart from Kirito has reverse plot armor, basically. So they all get the shit happen to them. So I don't even think Kirito has plot armor. Everybody else just absorbs the bad shit that happens.
But going back to the climax, everyone appears. But the weird thing is the Gun Gale people appear in it, and they've got no reason to be there.
Yeah.
It's a different game all entirely.
Yeah, so
No, seriously, all the Gun Gale characters, and they all got the guns out. Kirito and Asuna get all their SAO gear. They play the classic theme song. Basically they got to beat, in order to get the weapon that will destroy this thing that's going to steal all the SAO players' memories. They have to beat the final boss that they never beat.
And funnily enough, Yui hacks everybody so that they have all like, here again, oh, go Yui. Yeah,
and Leafa appears after being absent from the entire movie. Shinon barely's in it. She only gets one action scene, and she could have been really useful.
She gets a couple. She fights in the AR as well.
Yeah, but
and then at the end, she's in it briefly.
Yeah, but that's all she does. And the weird thing is about that is she would have actually been very useful because she's not an SAO player, so she has no risk to having her memory stolen.
Let's go. By the way, just saying.
My person was Asuna.
Ooh, no, she's taken, mate.
I really like. I think I'd go with Asuna as well because when she kicks ass, she really kicks ass.
Oh, yeah.
I think you said that Mother Rosario. The one thing you said in your tweet was that the Mother Rosario arc was the Mother Rosario fight. That was the only thing you liked about it.
Yeah, there's a little bit in that climax when they're doing all of the characters at the end. Asuna does the classic 11-hit combo.
The thing I do definitely say I like most about Asuna is that with Kirito's already dead powerful at the beginning. You kind of see Asuna get stronger and stronger as the series goes on.
Especially when she fights.
So like she's someone who has actual character development, while Kirito's just Jesus.
Yeah.
The thing about Kirito is he's all right when he has a goal to achieve. That's what made him so good. That's what made him a decent character in the first season. He had both arcs. He had a goal to achieve. He had something to fight for. When the second season, he didn't have that, and in this film, he doesn't quite get that. Yeah. So as a result, you really realise what a hollow character he really is.
Well, one of my friends, he's doing a dissertation on English literature, and the thing he's discussing is the use of powers in various like book series, manga, anime, etc. And he said that one of the most compelling and interesting things about a character and their power is the weaknesses as opposed to the strengths. And when you have a character like Kirito, who is such a empty character, he basically has infinite potential because he has ridiculously fast reaction times.
I mean,
and as we saw in the film, when he trains his fitness to be a lot better, he just absolutely wrecks the other guy.
I mean, if you watch something like Iron Blooded Orphans, that for example, you get a prime example of that. Well, that reveals its character's weaknesses very early on.
Kirito.
Reece will back me up on this.
And Kirito just has absolutely none. So he's just, it's not interesting to see him on screen because he does these things, and. Yeah, he wrecks his enemies and everything, but the way he does it is just like there's nothing to be desired.
That final fight scene is beautifully animated.
Fantastic. Yeah, and that's where the majority of the budget went, definitely.
It's such a good fight scene, and the animation in this thing is beautiful. The soundtrack once again is fantastic.
The backgrounds, like as always in SAO developers, well done. Backgrounds are fantastic because, for me, that's what makes the world building compelling. Is seeing all of the vast expanses and the rest of the world.
Which is why it's a bit down in this one, considering so much how little time we spend in those worlds in this one. Yeah. It's I must admit though, I actually kind of like the original songs they wrote for this, like the idol songs and all that. Some of those songs were actually still pretty good.
That was quite fun.
In fact, one of them's done by Lisa again, who seems to be having a contract. She has to do something for SAO. Every time, and because Crossing Fields is actually one of my all-time favourite OPs. I mean, even people that hate SAO think that that's a great OP.
It is a great.
Even I can agree to that.
But that being said, this whole movie makes no sense.
Yeah, no.
It makes absolutely no sense, and I think it's just a bad movie. It's really bad, and the only thing that seems to be accomplished of it is Kirito proposes to Asuna,
which is. By the way, really stupid. I'm sorry. They have such a boring relationship. I can't if they split up for some reason or if something.
Yeah, there's a YouTuber I watch quite regularly called Tristical. He's done a couple of videos online on how Kirito is so powerful. One of them is actually on how Asuna and Kirito's relationship will not work.
Yeah, no.
In any way.
No. Yeah.
It's also he's apparently going to meet apparently off screen he meets her mother.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been interesting, considering what she said about him in season 2. I don't think we have anything really more to say on it.
No, I mean,
on scale.
I enjoyed the film as like sort of sit back and
It's a popcorn film.
Yeah. You can look at the bits that are fun and interesting and like
good.
action film, and you can go, wow, I actually enjoyed those bits. But when you look at the film as a whole from a macro point of view, it's
God, it
pretty,
makes no sense.
pretty.
Do you know what's weird
dismal.
though? No one in my cinema came out with that reaction. I was in a packed cinema to see this.
Yeah.
Everyone seemed to really like it. I have
There
no
were about
idea.
3 or 4 Kirito cosplayers at mine.
There wasn't any cosplayers at my one.
Really?
I was in Manchester and there was no cosplayers.
Where did you see it?
Liverpool, Odeon.
Okay, that's actually quite surprising.
Yeah, I know. I would have thought maybe 1 or 2, but.
I would have thought in Manchester there would have been more.
Yeah, exactly, especially with the
Because
MCL.
we were at Manchester Anime Con this month, and there was I'm pretty sure there was at least one Kirito there.
Yeah, there was an Asuna as well. I remember seeing.
Yeah, there's always one, and they're going to get mugged after the show by SAO haters.
Yeah.
But that being said, we might do a special. Me and Ren might be doing a special vlog from London Anime Con when we go in.
It's in July, isn't it?
End of June, early July. So London Anime Con, London Anime and Gaming Con. We're going to be staying in the hostel there. Feel free to come and meet us. We're happy. And if you we may even ask you to be part of our vlog at that thing. We won't. That doesn't mean, however, we're going to be skipping our vlogs for those months. In fact, if anything, me and Reece will definitely be doing in June our picks for the best of spring, which I think will be very interesting at this point. And July, we'd like to know what you're talking. Well, July, I think we're going to be doing our If Anime Amigos Started Sooner vlog, which is basically we're going to be going through most of the decade so far and saying what our favourite anime year by year was. So we're going to start it. I think we're going to start from 2012. I think we're going to start from when Anime America started doing their anime awards, because I think that was really when this golden age of anime that we're in right now started. And I think this is the best era for anime in quite a long time.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with. In my opinion, I think Crunchyroll is a fantastic thing. Because
Crunchyroll's really been the
It
big part of
is
it.
amazing.
When Netflix came to the forefront of TVs and as a medium for shows, I think Crunchyroll did the same thing for anime and is now like basically effectively like the best place to watch.
It's why I'm so happy that the services. It's why I'm so pissed off with Anime Strike actually, because incidentally, if you live in the UK, many of the Anime Strike anime that's Anime Strike exclusive. Sorry, Americans, and Australians, but we actually get some of them. Some of the Anime Strike exclusives are available on Crunchyroll. Anonymous Noise is an Anime Strike exclusive, but we've got it. So is one of the other ones that has a really long title, What Have You Done, or something like that. I yet to start it. It's got a really long title. The only one that you need an Amazon Prime account to watch if you live in the UK is Recreators, which I haven't started yet. But if you're planning to watch it, if you're really desperate to watch it and you live in the UK and you haven't got an Amazon Prime account, my advice would be wait till June and go and take advantage of their 30-day free trial, because you'll be able to skim through it and you'll get the episodes you'll be able to skim through most of the episodes and you'll then get the episodes episode by episode. I think it's, and I think we need to support the anime industry at this time because we can't take this golden age for granted.
Yeah.
But that's our thoughts on both of these. So I think we should now just conclude this thing saying, what is the future of SAO? What do we think is the future for it? Reece, what do you think?
I just hope it goes uphill.
Yeah.
Do you want to, Reece? Ren? No, I'll start with you, Ren, then, since I got the names wrong.
Let's see. I hope they do something with Kaiba. I hope Asuna and Kirito don't live happily ever after, because their relationship isn't interesting.
I wouldn't mind them living happily ever after.
I think there's nowhere to go with them, because like at this point you can't really have development for individual characters. You have to have it for the both of them. I don't think that's very interesting. So I hope they split up or something happens to them basically.
What do you want to happen, Elliot?
I'd say do like one more season and bring like a lot of things to light, I would guess.
Yeah.
And like have one big final threat.
Yeah.
That would.
So here's the thing. Thumbs up, thumbs down, all in the middle right now. Would we watch a season 3 if it happened?
Yeah.
So you're probably going to wait till the end.
Yeah.
Okay, thumbs up, thumbs down on my idea, which is that we stop now, because this is going nowhere. We reboot it, rather like, but do the opposite of what FMA Brotherhood did and what Sailor Moon Crystal did, whereas those ones stuck closer to the source material.
They go further away.
And let the creators do whatever they want with it, and they can probably fix a lot of the problem and help, and hopefully that will fix a few of the problems. Yeah, I'm
completing us a reboot, I think.
Why would you guys not are a bit skeptic of that idea?
Because it's been crap so far.
I don't know. I kind of think because they might make it worse, really.
Yeah, there's every possibility they can make it worse, and I must admit my thoughts on that idea of doing that sort of thing have been rather damaged by the fact that this was mostly the creators doing their own thing. That being said, they had to borrow a lot from the what had come before it. But that being said, they still turn out a good product. I'm not sure this material is incredibly workable.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, best part of SAO, of the whole of it, has been the first part of the first series.
But it's
yeah, I would definitely agree with
what's
that.
been off. But it's created a whole genre of these anime that have been copying it or taking what it's. So, and none of them have been any good. Which ones do you guys? Ones do you guys think have been the really good ones? Reece?
What's this about? Your
The whole Trapped in Another World genre that's sort of come out from SAO. Which ones have you really enjoyed from that?
Probably ReZero.
Yeah, ReZero has been my favourite as well. ReZero has been brilliant.
I would probably say ReZero as well.
ReZero?
Konosuba. I enjoyed Konosuba.
Konosuba was really funny. I will agree on that one. We would kind of fight. I already mentioned how much I like that in the last vlog.
Although sort of being like in the sort of Trapped in Another World thing, I suppose you can say Noragami, or you can argue the point for it.
I'm not sure that one entirely counts, but
Yeah, the near sure. Yeah.
Lock Horizon is the one we didn't all say, which everyone really likes, and I'm a bit half and half on it. I think it's really dull sometimes, but at the same time it can be really great at times. Has a lot of really good ideas, but it never really does anything with them. And judging by the state of what it's going through at the minute, it's unlikely it ever will. Well, that's a sad note to leave out on the vlog on.
Shall we end it by, I don't know, beating up Kirito?
No. I actually want to keep this on my shelf. Hopefully I'll get Aston back after the cameras are turned off. But here's,
there you go.
yeah. Well, we got to say what we're doing next month. Next month, I let Reece pick the topic next month, and he wanted to do a vlog on Gundam, which is one of your favourites.
Yeah, because this has just been in the golden time of anime we're having now. It's the best time of Gundam.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Because we've had Iron Blooded Orphans and Thunderball, which I've heard. Thunderball I haven't seen yet, but I've heard a lot of good things. So I'm going to be watching a few. I'm going to be watching bits and bobs of a few Gundam series. We're also going to. I'm not asked. It's also good because it means that Reece can just concentrate on watching spring anime next month because he doesn't have to rewatch anything for this one. I'm going to rewatch the one he recommended, which was Gundam 00. Which has just been put back on Crunchyroll, and I'm going to try and watch a bit of Thunderball, and I'm going to try and finish off Iron Blooded Orphans, which I've been really struggling with, to finish. But at this point in time, we're not going to talk anything about the spring anime season in the next vlog because we're going to save everything off thoughts. But our brief recommendations at the beginning were been Alice to Roku, Anonymous Noise, Clockwork Planet, Attack on Titan Season 2, My Hero Academia Season 2. Grand Blue Fantasy the animation, and Boruto between us. Although I will say we think it's been we're not going to go into our thoughts on the season just yet, but it's definitely going to be an interesting vlog when we finally get it done. So our thoughts overall were Ghost in the Shell. We liked it, but we felt it had a lot of flaws to it.
I do still recommend it though.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it on Blu-ray, but if it's on TV again, I would watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not going in my DVD pile. It's that being said, I really think I could recommend it, but I would recommend it more to people who haven't.
Yeah, definitely.
Watched
If you're wanting to get into Ghost in the Shell but don't want something too complex, do watch that movie.
Yeah.
But even then, I'd argue watch Standalone Complex. The first season Standalone Complex, which I think is because I think it much more slowly eases you into the Ghost in the Shell world. I think that's the best one to start. I would say starting people off with.
Watch the original Ghost in the Shell last scene, get the best part. So.
Yeah.
Because that film is close to perfection.
Okay then, let's end this and let's end this and smash Kirito off screen.
Okay.
See you later.
Thanks for watching.
Bye
Thank
now.
you.
Goodbye, my friend.